off. The home point has been updated.
Well, Mr.
Please
Chris
check it on
Hope,
the map.
how are ya? I'm gonna go for a sunset flight. Seems like everybody does all these morning flights. So I am going to, well, in fact, speaking of the morning flights, hello, Paul. I'm gonna get up here a little bit above our house and see if we can't get up here over the turn off the volume on my mobile phone where I'm watching you guys. Dennis, hello, how are you? Welcome. Let's see if I can drop this down a little bit and see what kind of a sunset flight we can get out of here. Hope everybody's doing well. You're going to hear some noise here in the background. The trash is being picked up, so they're coming here to pick up our as they say, green waste, the grass and everything. So we're up here taking a flight right now, and we'll see what happens here. We're gonna, yep, here it is, all the noise. Trying to balance out the sensor. I've got a, if you can hear me at all. There he goes, finally. I've got an ND16 on there. Yeah, I know that, Paul. It's very noisy. It's the trash collectors are coming by to pick up the green waste here. The view that I'm showing you here right now, I'm going to lighten it up here a little bit, even though it's going to blur out where the sun is. This is Dana Point Harbor right out there. You can see the breakwaters and everything. And the island that you see out there in the background is an island called Catalina Island. And we're coming down here now a little bit. See if we can't get the gimbal down here a little bit and get out of the light. I don't know why I'm getting such a distortion on my screen, but I am. Looks good on the phone. Harmony, welcome. Sky Pilot, welcome for coming in. Nice to see everybody here. So this is sunset that we got here in Dana Point right now. Well, Mr. Rick Halbert, good afternoon to you, and good evening to everybody else on the East Coast and in the Midwest. Just popping the Maverick Pro up in the air here for a flight and see the sunset and see if we can get anything, some good colors coming out of here tonight. I don't know. We'll see. We've had some cloud cover here in the evenings here, but yesterday and today we had a little bit of light Santa Ana winds. So it blew most of those clouds out of the way. So we should get a halfway decent sunset out of here tonight. So I thought I'd just pop out there real quick and see what it looks like and see if I can get a sunset shot here for a change. Thomas, how are you? Good to see you. We're just doing a sunset flight here. So when Paul and Dennis and the rest of them, and if Jim's up tomorrow and if Michael's up tomorrow, and this is an advance of what it's going to look like 180 degrees from where I'm looking at it now. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. And again, Chris, thoughts and prayers to your community. It truly is a shame with that accident. But hopefully this sunset will give you a little bit of beauty and a little bit of comfort here. It's actually a pretty nice night. The clouds are high. We got some striations here up in the air. I don't know if I can get up here high enough to rotate away from it here a little bit. I'm going to just turn to the side here. We're going to yaw over a bit and see if we can't pick up some of the clouds here. I don't think so. Not going out too now. It's not lighting up. It should hopefully lighten up here real quick. But right out there in the, as you're looking out, as you see the water, you'll see a jog there going kind of straight out and then turning at approximately, about a 60-degree angle. That's our inland breakwater out there. It's coming back over now. Oh, I see how much the delay is. And then the further breakwater out there is the outside breakwater coming in. And for those of you who remember the Beach Boys and the glass off at Doheny, coming straight back towards where I'm standing there, that is Doheny State Beach, and that's where all the surfing used to be, with the big name surfers of Hobie Alter and of the Hobie Surfboard, for any of those people that remember it. And lots of other big surfers and a lot of big name people that are still here. In fact, during our harbor remodel coming up, they actually are going to move the Surf Museum out of San Clemente, which was of Surfer Magazine, if anybody remembers that in the good old days. I actually grew up right next to the building Surfer Magazine as a kid growing up. They are going to move the whole entire museum over there. It's called the Surf Heritage Museum, into Dana Point Harbor during our upcoming remodel, or I should say revitalization. I'm going to swing a little bit south here. I don't know if that's, if we can see that out there or not. Yes, it is. I'm going to try to put it right on center point here. You can see a line out there on the horizon maybe here in just a second here. You'll see it coming up, skewing over here to the south a bit. And you'll be able to see a little line on the horizon maybe, and if so, that is San Clemente Island, which has been used for decades, actually as a bombing range for Camp Pendleton and also for the Navy. It's really hard to see on the distance. You'll see just like a brown line sitting out there across the water, just mid-screen there. And that's San Clemente Island out there. Let me see if I tilt the gimbal up a little bit. I can get a little more of a shot out there. So it's a pretty clear day. I blew it out. San Clemente, well, just so you know, from here, Catalina is not like the song 26 miles across the street, because that's from San Pedro. From us here, the island there to the right that you see, just the edge of the sunset's just sitting on the south side of it there, is 34 miles from the harbor right here. And San Clemente Island out there is roughly 50 miles out from here. So it's a pretty clear day to be seeing it out there. So we'll come back over here a little bit and see the final bit of this sunset. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. And the weather will hold up for everybody. We're supposed to have some beautiful warmer weather actually coming up, and in the inland here today was in the mid-70s here, almost along the coast here in Dana Point, and then on the inland from here, roughly about 45-minute drive on the freeway inland, it was up in the mid-80s today because of the Santa Ana conditions we were having. Oh, Rick, yeah, you were out there then, huh? You were out there for on the bombing range, or were you out there working out on the island itself? I'm going to be coming down here a little bit. We got a helicopter coming up above us here, and he's sneaking in. And they are way low. They are probably only about 250 to 300 feet that came through here, some military choppers. They look to be gunships that were there. So I'm going to try to get back up and see if we can catch this before we completely lose it here. And that way you guys can see a little bit more. Sorry about that. But the Marine Corps takes precedence over me flying over here. Even though we're clear to fly here. That's one thing I wish, actually, I hope we do get in the drones like the new Maverick 2 and stuff. I know I won't get it here on mine. But the Enterprise with the AIS capability of being able to see aircraft coming in, that would be able to see that stuff coming before it's almost on top of you. So far so good, clear. You can't really see them. I tried to get up there a little bit to where you could see them going out because they were headed straight out, almost a southwest heading. And who knows, maybe they were headed out for San Clemente Island, because that's the direction they would have been headed. That's the direction they were headed for. So, mid-20s back there, huh, Paul? Oh boy. Sorry, don't mean to rub it in, but when we live in paradise, we enjoy it. Yeah, it's interesting. The weather that's going across the nation, and the snowstorms that are coming into the Midwest now, up along Minnesota. It's going to be hitting. I saw on the news a little bit ago, and out towards Illinois and everything. Well, I'm glad the sunset finally decided to work for me. I just wish I had a zoom like old Michael does. That would be perfect to be able to zoom in a little closer out there towards the island. And Catalina Island was the island that you see out there just to the right of the sunset there. So, in the teens in Michigan, huh? Oh, well, I hope the storm's not too bad, and I hope not too much snow. But it is winter after all. I know my father grew up in Minnesota, was born in Minnesota, born and raised up in the Iron Ore District up there in Hibbing, Minnesota. Just a little bit south of Duluth there off the lake. And I know going there one time we had for Christmas, it was beautiful over there. We did go there for Christmas the one year, and it was a gorgeous time that we had there. On the cold side, because I know on New Year's Eve we went to go out and it was 29 degrees below zero. And my dad and uncle were laughing their rear ends off as they were down in the basement and they could hear me hitting for the snow rooms and going out to warm up my truck. And they were just, all this laughing was coming on, and little did I know they had just heard the weather report was from the airport, and the airport was only 2 miles from my uncle's home, small little airport. And that's when they got the weather report, and it turned out that the wind was blowing at a nice 35 miles an hour, which brought the chill factor down to 72 below. And that was New Year's Eve a few decades back. So let me see if I can yaw over here a little bit and see if we can see a little bit of the reflection coming off the clouds there. Yeah, Michael's smart. He's pre-recording those videos. You're right, Paul. For those bad days. Well, unfortunately, I can't turn the gimbal up high enough, but we're getting a reflection of the clouds up on top there from the sun setting. But it is beautiful out here tonight. This we haven't had this for a while. But there's a beautiful sunset here this winter afternoon. So, what do we got in here? Let me check down here at the chat. Yeah, Dennis, 72 below was with the chill factor. We were going out for a New Year's Eve party. So we went from inside a nice warm house in town and drove 15 miles, and by the time I got out of the vehicle in order to walk in the party, I think I was frozen again, and then walked in from 72 below with the wind blowing to a 72-degree temperature internal. So talk about a temperature shock change. It was wild. I'll stick here in Southern California. Well, so far so good for the image I see here. I'm surprised. It's coming out a lot clearer looking at the live broadcast than it is on my iPad. So I'm glad we were able to catch a sunset for everybody here tonight that tuned in. Drone worship, welcome. Well, Paul, that's with the wind chill factor. It was actually 29 below with a 35 mile an hour wind. So it wasn't actual temperature, it was wind chill factor. But no matter what way you are, when I hit the storm room and I opened up the storm door going to the outside, I had a down parka on and I felt what a screen door was like. Well, guys, I'm getting the low battery warning. So we are going to slowly bring this guy back down and get back without a problem. We'll let it go and see. It says we got 5 minutes of airtime. Yep, and we're just straight up in the air, so we're not going anywhere. But the clouds are beautiful out here tonight. It's really gorgeous out. So I thank everybody for stopping in. And I wish everybody a beautiful rest of your weekend. Adam, welcome. How are you, sir? And hope everybody has a really wonderful rest of your weekend and a safe weekend, of course. And tomorrow, going down to the harbor to see if my boat is still afloat. Had some work done to it, so we're going to see what's happening. So I thank everybody for stopping in. And we're going to bring this guy back home here.
Landing.
Yeah, sorry for the beeping. But I thank everybody for coming in. And as I say, I wish everybody a wonderful weekend. And hopefully you'll have a beautiful sunrise for Paul and Dennis and Jim and Michael tomorrow, and the weather will hold up for you guys. Not that I'll be awake to watch you, but I'll watch the rebroadcast. And when I wake up 3 hours later or 4 hours later, who knows? Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. And wishing you and your families a very beautiful and safe rest of your weekend. And we'll see you all on one of the next broadcasts with the Four Musketeers out there. So take care, and wishing you all a great rest of your evening. And once again, thanks everybody for stopping in. Truly appreciate it. Have a good night.